Hello, so in this video I'm just going to show you how to use an LLM to work with some files, how to edit them, and how to get the LLM to edit them, and how that works in a code space. So here we have our code space just like the last video, and once you have this code space up and running and you have a terminal down here, you can use that to start up various agentic tools. I'm going to show you one called OpenCode, and then we'll come back and also do the same thing in Claude as well too, Claude Code. But the main idea before we get started with our skill editing task here is to of this video is just to show you how you can work with the LLMs. So right now I have these two README files up, and this is the file down here, and you can click on it. And I'm going to click at close so you see how that works. There's the file closed. And then if you click on it, it opens up like that. And you can go in and edit these files, and they will kind of change as you edit them, and then you can save them in the normal way. But nowadays, more and more work with the LLMs is just having the LLMs alter these files for you, edit these files at given whatever it is you're trying to do with them. And so that's what I'm going to demonstrate first here. So I'm going to click these files close like that, and I'm going to make this window bigger at first, and then I'm going to kind of resize it a little bit, zoom it out a little bit. But one of the other commands you can issue at the terminal here is just the command clear, and what that does is it clears everything up to the top and kind of moves it up to the top. So once again, you can do ls and show the files that are in there, and you can do pwd, and you can see what directory you're in. So right now I'm in a directory or a folder called workspaces, my order pizza skill. And so this is kind of like the Finder, and this is your file explorer over here. It's very similar. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to issue a command that will start up this tool called OpenCode. And what OpenCode is it's an agentic software tool, a lot like Claude Code, but it's for just really all the LLMs, and it's not exclusive to Anthropic models. And this is an open source project, and it's got a lot of really great features to it, and I'm going to show you how to work with it using your GitHub Copilot subscription in particular, which is going to allow you to have access to a lot of great models. You can even use it for some free models as well too, which I'll show you. But the way to start this tool is to just say dot and then / like that. So you got to come to the prompt right here, and you say dot and then /, and then you start typing permissions is the name of the folder that this script is in that we're going to run. And after you type some of the letters for it, try hitting tab, and it'll give you the rest of the letters in it. And so now the rest of the name of this script is it's called OpenCode. So I'm going to type OP-E and then hit tab like that. And so you're going to get used to doing this tab trick. It's called tab completion. Once it kind of can see what you're trying to type, it can help you if you just hit tab, and it'll find the rest of that one. So as you can see over here, there is a folder in this directory called permissions, and so that's how it knows that once I type PER or even just P and hit tab, it should find the rest of it. And then inside of there is a script called OpenCode. And this is the one that starts the tool we're going to use here at first. So you hit return, and it executes it, and it should find it. This Codespace is set up so that it's able to find the tools that we need it to find. Although I don't know why it's taking so long here, but okay, I guess it's the first time it's coming up. Okay, so it comes up, and it's called OpenCode, and it's a really great looking tool. And basically what it is you just start typing in at the window there, and you're just prompting an LLM. Now this one is Gemini 3 Pro, and it's using a subscription here called GitHub Copilot. So if you sign up at GitHub Education, you'll have access to a service called GitHub Copilot. And in that service is a subscription to some of the large language models that come from the different companies. So Anthropic models, GPT models, Gemini and Google models. So GitHub Copilot has access to some of those models. And if you sign up through GitHub Education, you have access to 300 premium requests to those models per month. And you can choose the model that you want to use. Right now, it's just defaulting to Gemini 3 Pro, but we're going to change that in just a minute. And so I could type my prompt here, but the very first thing I want to do before I start anything is I want to change this model. It actually already is using my GitHub login, so that's how it already knows to go to GitHub Copilot and kind of find these models. But the way most of these tools work is you type a / and then you have access to a bunch of different commands that you can issue, and you can use the arrow keys to kind of go through them, and there you can see all the things that you can do, at least from the terminal here, or at least from the prompt window here. And so I'm going to go off to where it says models so I can switch models, and that takes me over to this list over here, and there's a bunch of different providers is what they're called. We're going to use the provider that's called GitHub Copilot, and that's the service that gives us the access to the models that are some of the common ones from the big AI labs. And they're up here. And you can go over here and kind of scroll through this list right here. And basically, the GitHub Copilot models are these to start right here. You can see them here. So there's a few Claude ones, and there's some of the best ones if you're lucky. If you have the student account, you're not going to see all of these. You're just going to see some of them. So you can pick Sonnet if there's a Sonnet in your list. You won't have access to all 3 of these on the student account probably. You can also pick a Claude Haiku. It's a really fast model. It tends to be really good at almost everything. It's not as sophisticated as the Sonnet and Opus ones, but a lot of times when you're just getting things done, it doesn't matter. So if you scroll down, here's the GPT models, and of course the latest GPT models probably won't be here for you, but there'll be things like 5.2 and 5.1, and you can just pick a later, one of the later models from GPT, and they're all going to be pretty good. And then there's going to be some Gemini models as well too. 3.1 is one of the latest ones, but Gemini 3 Flash is a very quick model and cheaper as well. So I'm just going to go with Haiku because I know you guys will have it, and we'll just illustrate things with Haiku. Okay, and I think this is the amount of thinking that it does, and I'm going to leave it on low and hit return. So now you can see that it's using Claude Haiku 4.5, and it's using it through my GitHub Copilot subscription. So this is separate from any subscription you have to Anthropic, and so you can use the Claude models through this subscription, or if you have Claude Code and you have the Pro account to Claude Code, you can use that, and I'll show you that in a separate video. So I'm just going to say, can you describe this repo to me and what it is for? Okay, so just let it go off and kind of look at the files in there, and it'll come back and kind of summarize it and tell me what this is all about. And so you can see how this one works. It looks nice. The formatting is really good. It's very minimal, and that's one of the reasons I really like it. So let's see what it says. You can scroll it up here. It's looked at the README. It's also looked at the skill that we're going to be editing. Once it figured out this was a project to edit a skill, it went and found the skill file that we're going to be editing. So this is the pizza ordering skill. Basically, this is a training project for students trying to learn how to work with AI. And what it does here is it lets you create a skill, which is basically a prompt and a script and a recipe for teaching the LLM how to be an order bot. And so we're going to try it out, and we're going to make some changes to it, and we're going to learn how it works. So the different parts to this interface for OpenCode, there's a little help window over here, or sidebar window over here, and I'm going to try to close that so you see how that works. If you do Control P, you'll see some commands. So go down here, and do Control P, and you'll be able to see some more commands like that. A switch model is the one that we just used. You have to play around with the OpenCode a little bit before you get used to all these navigating with the up and the down arrow, because you can't really use your mouse that much. So here's the hide sidebar one, and that's the sidebar over there. So if I do that, then it folds that back in like that, and so I get a little more space. So at this point, you can just kind of have a conversation with the LLM. Can you describe what is in the let's ask it what is in the Claude file. So to ask it to reference a file over here, what you do is you use the @ sign, and then you type in the name of the file. So here I put in the @ sign like that, and I want it to look at this Claude MD file. So again, if I type a few of the letters like that and then I hit tab, it'll record it in a different color like that, and that's its way of understanding that we're referring to this file over here. So can you describe what is in the Claude MD file? Okay, so it goes over, and you can see this kind of got a link to that file, and it goes in, and here it opens it up. And if you look in the Claude MD file, it's basically just instructions to the LLM for how it's supposed to work with the students on this project when it talks with them, and what kind of tone it's supposed to use, and just to remember to kind of work in a particular way. So I could open that up myself, this file, and look at it. Remember, we said these markdown files, you can click on them and they open up here. And if you go and hide the bottom panel down there, we can see it very clearly. Here's the Claude MD file. And remember, you can go and you can preview it like that. And so here it is. And so this is just a file that tells the LLM to be careful who you're working with as students, and you're supposed to have a particular tone with them, talk like a person, not like a manual, never assume they know what something is, explain what you're doing. And so this is where it gets its context for working with you in this project. So as soon as we start up over here in the OpenCode window down here, as soon as we start it up, it went and it read this Claude MD file, and so now it knows how to converse with us, really. And so you can kind of see it doing it up here, I think. Yeah, there, it read the, up there it read the Claude MD file, and so it sort of knew some of what was in this file already as soon as it started up. So, okay, so that should be enough for this video. This is how you get your agentic tool up and running. This is OpenCode. In the next video, I'll probably show doing exactly the same thing but with Claude Code. And then we're going to come back and see how you edit and work with files with this LLM. How do you have it create files? How do you have it create folders? How do you have it make edits for you? Because that's all part of what we're going to need to do when we get ready to work on this skill. But we're not quite ready to start working on the skill until we understand how to use the LLMs and this OpenCode agentic tool to help us get our work done. Okay.